You are a wonderful human being. Have fun, okay? Have fun.
When you win an award, I think in sports they do something like...
Right?
All right. Good morning, everyone. I am super honored and excited to be before you this morning on this 10-year anniversary of Hurricane Marketing Enterprise, now Evolution.
Yes.
And the awesome thing about Evolution is, as I thought over the last couple of weeks, knowing that I was going to present to you guys, I went back over my evolution. I thought back on when I first started. I've met a lot of you that are just getting started. I think I talked to Casey. I sat next to a young lady at lunch and dinner last night who are just starting. And I said to each of you guys, you are in the right place. If I had started 20 years ago with Hurricane, I would be a gazillionaire right now. No doubt, no doubt. So please believe that you are in the right place, okay? A lot of you talked to me about being in Philly and hearing my story and that it was moving. Back then when I was going through it, it wasn't moving. It was scary. Casey, we talked about fear. And fear is a real emotion, and so you have to recognize that and see it for what it is. But also, fear is just false evidence appearing real. And so my story that I told in Philly was just one of a skyrocket rise to a whole lot of clients and a whole lot of money. I started in 2002, and very quickly I saw myself with 100 clients. Now, let me say this. This was Medicaid, VA, so not all private pay, but for, you know, a small-time nurse coming from a long-term care facility with everybody looking at me thinking maybe you're not going to make it, and I'm like, 100 clients, okay? Yeah. I got the money now. Don't clap too much. Because the story goes that by the time I hit 2012, a major winter storm hit my finances. And I always speak in terms of seasons because it's something that we can all relate to, and it's something that is unchanging in our world. We know as long as we're on this rock and it's turning, that we are going to go through spring, summer, fall, and winter. And so in 2012, I had the winter, the coldest, longest, hardest financial winter of my life and my career. I rose quickly to have a lot of money, making it rain, helping a lot of individuals level themselves up in life by having people work for me and hundreds of people, and everything was wonderful until it wasn't. Until I found myself with not only a fatal Monday, but almost finish her, fatality. And I owed everybody. I owed the IRS. I owed caregivers that were threatening to come to my house to get me because I couldn't make payroll. I couldn't pay my bills. My whole family, which I'm a single parent, so, you know, my child suffered because of that loss. It was the lowest point of my life. And so when I stand before you today and I hear Steve tell you where I am now, it's nothing but God. And it's nothing but, that's right. Thank you, Father. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. It's nothing but God, but it's also the fact that I realized that God put me in this situation. I got this business because of him. So he wasn't going to leave me or forsake me. I just had to figure out what I needed to do in order to make this thing come back to life. And that's when I started looking at the videos from Steve the Hurricane. And if you'll allow me, I'm going to take my shoes off for two reasons. One, my feet do hurt. But second, because I want to illustrate something to you. So in 2012, when I first started working with Steve, and 2016 is when I actually met Steve, I had a lot of issues going on in the business. So you're talking about a 14-year business at this point, okay? But one of the things that I learned from Steve is how to look at my organization in a totally different way. So what I have are ropes, chains, shackles, if you will. And one of my biggest shackle that I had was on my feet. Is that what it's called? You said a hobble? Well, I was hobbled. Put it on my feet. You better catch me and send me an aid if I need one. But this hobble, this shackle, unfortunately, at the time, was my team. So my first nugget for you right now is to evaluate your team. One of the things that we talk about often in the Elite Academy is toxic employees. Y'all, I had my cousins working for me, aunties and uncles, friends, okay, that had me shackled because we talked about empathy yesterday. I can't let them go. They need this job. Yet not one of them was marketing. They didn't know how to take care of a client. They were just riding on me, and I felt sorry that I had to keep employing them. And honestly, it was a lot of bickering and attitudes and that ain't my job and all that kind of stuff going on in the office. How am I going to grow? How am I going to scale? The reason why I called this talk, It's Your Season to Scale, is because in Philly, I talked to you about my winter. But now I want to talk to you about my spring, the time when I began to plant. These shackles, my team back then, kept me from scaling. They kept me from growing. One of the hardest things I had to do in the last couple of months here recently is let go of a team member that had been with me for 15 years. This young lady took care of my baby. She took care of my son when we were coming up together trying to run this business. I stayed next to her while she was fighting breast cancer in the hospital. She was one of my ride or die type employees. But she was toxic. She wasn't producing. She was literally just getting a paycheck and a salary every week for doing little of nothing. Steve and Nicole told me time and time and time again, you need to you need to liberate. You need to liberate her. Finally, I liberated her. And guess what happened? You just heard him say we grew by what? 25% by just getting that toxic individual out of our team and finding a marketing rep that would go out and recruit and actually do her job. So that's nugget number one for you. When you're talking about scaling, look at your team. There's nothing wrong with family members and friends. I'm not saying that. If they're producing, if they add value to your business. The next nugget that I have for you, of course, where's my other shackle at? Hold on, I got to get back over here. It's hard to move with these shackles on your feet. So the next nugget I have for you when it comes to scaling is systems. You heard us talking about it. Brittany, I believe you and Ann, is it Ann? You and Annie talked about systems. I've heard that. Structure, manuals, systems. So at one point in 2014, when I started with Steve, 2016, when I started with Steve, I had shackles on my feet because I had a toxic staff. And then I had shackles on my hands because we had no systems. We had poor systems. We had old systems. Now, one of the hardest things about systems is that it seems overwhelming. To think about having to have a system for every single thing that you do is overwhelming. But what we did was we looked at the top 10 things that we could make a system for. So a system for how you onboard a client. The system for how you onboard an employee. Just take the biggies and start to break those down and get systems to it. I know it seems overwhelming. But the great thing about coming to a meeting like this, you've heard momentum, 1, 2, 3, special ops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. He has so much knowledge and information that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can come to a conference like this and get systems. You can come to the trainings that he has and get systems. None of this stuff is brand new. It's all out there for us. But you will absolutely be hobbled and shackled and slowed down, and you won't be able to progress if you don't have systems. I don't care whether you're in here and you're just starting out. When I first started out, Steve, I know he loves football. He loves the New York Giants. I know, right? Yo, it's his 10-year anniversary. Don't do that to him. Don't do that to him. Go Giants, okay? But when I first started, guys, I mean, if I think of like a football team, I was every single position on the team. I was offense, I was quarterback, I was defense, I was a running back. Hell, I was the referee, I was the janitor, I was the ball girl. I mean, I was everything, right? But I was so proud when I first started because I remember I was just evolution, just thinking back. I remember when I first got to check the box self-employed on it was a medical application. You know, when you go to the doctor and they ask you who's your employer, and I'm like, self-employed. I have arrived, right? But what does self-employed really mean? Exactly. You're working for yourself. You're just your own boss. Okay? Definitely have a little bit more flexibility, but not always. And so the mentality that I had when I first started of being self-employed, I have evolved. I evolved over time to actually becoming an entrepreneur, actually becoming a CEO. I did. And so now, instead of being every member on the team, I've graduated and I've evolved to the point where now I actually am the coach. I am the Bill Belichick. I am the winningest coach. I got the Super Bowl rings. I'm killing it right now, right? Yeah, I'm doing great. Now, if I could do one more thing, I would love to have one more rope. It's rough with these shackles on. It's hard when you're chained to a toxic team and you can't move because you have no systems. I wish I had one more rope, and if you can imagine, just put a rope around me in this podium. Because my third nugget for you when it comes to scaling is leverage. We've heard this word several times while we've been here, leverage. Physics says that leverage is a mechanical device or lever, if you will, that you use in order to lift something that's too heavy that would otherwise not be able to be lifted on its own. So my leverage, and this is just my leverage is Hurricane Marketing Evolution. Hurricane Marketing Enterprise. Steve the Hurricane. Nicole the Real Deal. That's my leverage. Because with their systems and with their wisdom, I am able to get unshackled so that I can rise. I'm not going to stand up here and try to teach you about systems and momentum 1, 2, 3. That's not what I do. That's what he does. If you want to know what the systems are, then get connected to the wisdom, to the source. Get connected to the individuals that you see in this room that have used the source and can attest. It's real. This is not a snake salesman. This ain't no get-rich-quick scheme. This ain't no sitting in the middle of the night watching TV and the man says, but wait, there's more. No. This is it. If you do it, it works. If you apply the systems, your hands become unshackled. Right? If you listen to everyone telling you, including Nicole the Real Deal and Steve, as well as myself, get rid of those toxic staff members so that you can walk. Right? 25% is nothing. He's giving me more goals. He's told me, I'm proud to say 25% more, but I'm trying to get where Caleb and them are. Y'all are killing it in Georgia. You got there's millionaires all up in here and future millionaires to come. And so now I'm Bill Belichick, right? I'm the coach. But I don't want to be the coach anymore. I hired an executive director, just like Steve told me. And so I don't want to be Bill. I want to be Kraft. What's his name? Robert Kraft. That's what I want to be. I want to be the owner. I don't even want you to need me to play this game. Just go win the Super Bowls and bring me back the trophies, the ring, and the money, right? Instead of using those ropes, there ain't nothing wrong with a rope, but instead of using those ropes that shackle me and have me tethered and bound, yeah, I want me a lasso. I'm going to use my rope so that I can get what I want. I can wrangle at whatever I want. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, y'all should have seen me. My son caught me in the middle of my living room with a YouTube video talking about how to lasso. Like, what the hell, Mom? What are you doing? I'm lassoing. But for real, you guys have dreams. You have goals. You have aspirations. I know I do. I want to be a speaker. I want to do this. I want to do this more often and more freely without being tethered and bound to my team. Steve can tell you that there's not been a boot camp that I've been to that I haven't had to run in and out of the daggone boot camp because I had to go do payroll or I had to go check on something or what have you. I looked at Kelly in her face when we were at the VIP evening, and I said, I'm not leaving out of that room for anything. I'm not checking an email. I ain't talking to nobody or nothing. Let them handle that. Freedom. Using my lasso. Yeah. I have other things that I want to do. I want to take the vacations. Yes, I want to see Caring Hands grow. I hope that my executive director can take it far and beyond any place that I've ever taken it. Those of you that are just getting started, it is no accident that you're doing what you're doing. God honors what you're doing. You wouldn't be here if this is what you were supposed to be doing. Stop second guessing yourself. Stop letting false evidence appearing real slow you down. Every last one of us have been in that situation. And those of you that are VIP, we've got more and more that we can get and more that we can do. Set your goal and set it high. What do you want? Huh? Huh? How much do you want? Make your lasso loop wide. Cast your net wide. You can achieve it. I'm not done yet. I can't wait for you to see me next year. I can't wait to tell you what God has done in my business next year. And I can't wait to hear what God has done in yours. You guys are awesome to me. I love coming to these conferences. I love hearing from each one of you. Whenever some of you, we talk on the phone, yeah. Some of us, we go and visit. We've become really good friends. I wouldn't take nothing from my evolution. From where I've come to where I am now, it's a testimony. And I'm proud to stand up here and tell you that I have evolved. I have evolved. And I am so grateful and so thankful to Steve, to Nicole, to Dee, to Kelly, to Jennifer, anyone that I talked to at Hurricane Marketing. I am so grateful to you guys. I truly know that other than the fact that I know God got me, that I would not be here if it were not for you guys. So God bless you. I hope you have not only 10 more years, but 20 more years and 30 more years. And I hope that every single one of your dreams comes true. Thank you so much.
Give it up. That was amazing. Thank you so much.